Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Sunday, February the 23rd. The year is 2020. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly open and gap. Okay, as we begin the week, of course, I know each and every one of you will have your money and risk management in place. You are not going to lose any more on a particular trade than you're willing to lose. And of course, boys and girls, fellow traders, as you know, these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine. And that trading's risky, you can lose all of your money. So, if you're seeking trading advice, financial advice, investing advice, seek it from an accredited financial professional. That way, if you take their advice and lose all your money, you know you got the advice from an accredited financial professional rather than somebody with a funny name posting YouTube videos or what you heard or read on some blog, website, Twitter, whatever. Okay, disclaimers out of the way. We're looking at the weekly chart here. Week on the TRO dashboard, you can see we still have a lot of pairs that haven't filled that gap. Last week, I think all pairs filled the gap by the end of the day, Monday, or maybe it was Tuesday, but they all filled. So it could happen again this week. I don't know. All we can do is trade what we see. And you can see here, though, on the dollar yen, it gapped down and it ran up, filled that gap, and it's pulled back slightly. So there was a nice little fill there. It was good for about, maybe 30 pips. And you can see here, still hasn't hit that weekly pivot. Looking at the daily, we're coming off of that yearly high put into trading sessions ago. But we're 281 pips above the yearly open. Now, on this daily, you can see here we started outside of this inside bar, which is kind of interesting. On the weekly, we can expand that a bit right now. Up through the buy zone, it gapped down. We had the buy zone. And you can see here, we filled that gap. Previous day, once again, was an inside bar, but we opened outside the inside bar, but looked to go short again at the 111.46 area. You can see here there's just a few inside bars for the day. We've got some working here during the week, and we've got a bunch at the month. Whoops. It's still only 5 hours into the trading day, almost 6. So far, the range is narrow. No pairs over 100. The yearly H1 highest open. There's the monthly D1 highest open. And right now we're putting in a weekly highest open. There's the weekly H1 lowest open right here. Once again, we haven't hit the pivot here on the daily. So looking at the buy zone right here, still possibly thinking about hitting that pivot up here. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Right here, we've got enough range for the rat, believe it or not, this early in the day. So rat traders can start, the red rats can start to look for cheese. In fact, they already have feasted once. They can look to feast again. And there's that pivot we haven't hit. Weekly pivot 111.15 right here. So we got the daily above and the weekly below. We'll see which one gets taken out. Here's a couple of missed weeklies and a couple of missed dailies. Okay, boys and girls, fellow traders, this is one of the simplest methods there is. Actually, they're all pretty much simple because we're using horizontal lines. And the rule of thumb is you trade in the direction of the H1 candle color at the line. See, price open between 20 and 30, ain't going to stay there. And it didn't. You see here, price open between 50 and 60, didn't stay there. So are you going to win every time? Of course not. But so long as you've got your risk management in place, what do you got to lose? Your risk. In and out of the wick zone right here, out and back in again. 58 trigger long, 46 trigger short. Price isn't going to stay in this wick zone. It's going to leave. And here we have a nice little horizontal line trade at the previous day's low. There, not much, turned around and started to head north. Looking here at the Einstein line, you can see prices just kind of oscillating right around this 111.54 triggered long right here. And you can see this oscillation down at the tick level. We're only talking about maybe 5 pips, so nothing to write home about. But when we look at the weekly ATR chart, you can see here's the open, here's the open plus half of the min ATR, which was 13 this time. And you can see anybody targeted, that was about 27 pips between the open and the halfway point. A nice trade for those taking it. And you can see where the weekly ATR zones are. Oh, and just to give you a heads up, boys and girls, I modified the TRO HL5 indicator. And maybe, since I'm going through these charts kind of quick, maybe I'll give you a little preview. There was a trader that was asking for something, and so I went ahead and I think I implemented what they wanted, and maybe even a little bit more. So I'll have to show you that. Okay, lower low, so no inside bar is going to happen on the daily. Get a higher high, so no inside bar on the monthly, but the weekly we got a lower high and higher low so far. So this is just showing those what the lows and highs are doing for people who like to use those. But just a nice way to see it overall. You don't have to look at all those charts. You can just look at the dashboard. And here we go with the highs and lows that have not been taken out. So right here, you got a long trigger at, what's that? 111.58 and a short at 111.43, because price just is not going to stay between these two lines. It's just not. And you can see here all the other ones that have been taken out. There's a couple from, 51 hours ago. So that's how we use that chart, just showing where these breakouts will be occurring. And on the Virgin Wick Zone, along with the ask candles, once again, it's kind of easy to see what price has to do. And so right here, price just went below the peak of the ask, and we're selling. I'm sorry, went below the peak of the bid. So the ask jumped down here, because if the ask doesn't jump below the peak of the bid, how can you be selling? So we have selling. Okay, let me go ahead and bring up that other chart for you. So I'm going to pause the video. Okay, fellow traders, I'm back. I've got the chart up with the latest version of TRO HL5, and I've given it some new inputs. So here's what we have. You can show the ATR from the open. It's a horizontal line, so plus and minus from the open. You can show the ATR from the current high or low, so it's high minus the ATR and the current low plus the ATR. Or you can use from the previous, like the previous day or week. And that's what the one trader wanted. And so what you can do is you take the previous day's high and you subtract the ATR from it, and you take the previous day's low and you add the ATR to it. So you can see that's what I'm showing right here. So looking at the daily chart, you can see 4 weeks ago, the previous low plus the ATR was here and price went through it. I'm not exactly sure how that trader wants to do it. I just thought, well, you know, I can do it, so who knows, there might be something to it. Maybe they'll let me know after they play with it for a while. So you can also, of course, I've got it set for weekly here. You can do it for daily. So we're looking at the last 5 days here. So I think what they're saying is that if you look here, they want to look to see if there's any more room for price to go, I guess, in the direction that it was moving at the close. So you got the previous high minus the ATR, so it was here. So I'm thinking it would probably say, nope, they've used all the gas in the tank. That's how I would read it. Let's see if we've got another one. So if you look at these lines, if the price has gone through these lines, so here, previous low, actually for here, for D0, previous low plus the ATR. So from here to here, price opened here. So right around here, it's like, yeah, it looks like it's stalling. It looks like it stalled out. It didn't quite get there. So I think that's how you would use it. Then, as I mentioned, we've got a couple more options there. You can show the ATR from the open, which is one of the things that the ATR lines did it, but this only does it for one ATR, and I used the default of 14 here. So here we've got the open. Let's see, well, here's the open. So open plus the ATR is right here for today, and you can see it already hit it. So I'll be posting that probably sometime later in the week. Just make sure there's no bugs in it. So, fellow traders, that's it. I hope you have a profitable trading week. And just remember, when you sit down at your trading platform, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks.